Hey y'all, welcome to the Quiet as Kept podcast. I'm your host, Shawnti Refuge, and I am so glad that you are here. Let me tell you a little bit about what this podcast is about and why I'm so passionate about it. First, I'm Shawnti. I'm a master certified mental health coach, mental health advocate, author of the best selling book Quiet as Kept, and journaling enthusiast. My journey has not been easy. In 2018, I had a mental breakdown that changed everything. I was diagnosed with severe depression and anxiety, and honestly, I didn't know where to turn. But instead of letting that diagnosis define me, I decided to fight back, and not with medication, but with pen and paper. Journaling became my safe space, my therapy, and eventually my purpose. So the Quiet as Kept podcast is about diving into all the conversations that we, especially in the African American community, we're told to avoid. We're talking about mental health, generational trauma, toxic relationships, self-love, and everything in between. Essentially, the stuff that has been quiet is kept for way too long. And what we don't talk about is often what's holding us back. So that's why I have created this podcast. And it is for anyone who is tired of pretending everything is fine. It's for individuals working through mental health struggles, professionals trying to balance it all, and anyone who's ready to heal, grow, and reclaim their power. So whether you're just starting your journey or looking for new tools to add to your toolkit, you are in the right place. Each week, we'll have honest conversations about topics that matter. I'll share my business, my personal business, actionable tips, and guided journaling prompts to help you dig deep and create real change. So, if you're ready to stop surviving and start thriving, grab your journal, get comfortable, and let's get into it. Today, we are talking about something that has taken me years to learn: the power of saying no without guilt. Many of us, especially as Black women, were raised to believe that saying no is rude, selfish, or even disrespectful. But let me tell you something: saying no is a form of self care. It is a way of protecting your peace, your energy, and your mental health. And if you've ever agreed to something you didn't want to do just to avoid disappointing someone, if you feel guilty for setting boundaries, or if you find yourself overcommitted and exhausted because you don't want to let people down, this episode is for you, honey. So I'll never forget the time I agreed to help a friend move. I hate moving. That's number one. If you know me, I do not like moving. Hate it. And then on my day off, because I didn't want to seem selfish, I was physically and emotionally drained. But I still showed up, moving boxes, smiling and telling myself, this is what being a good friend looks like. But by the end of the day, I was frustrated, resentful, and mad at myself. Not because my friend asked, but because I said yes when I really meant no. Does that sound familiar? According to research published in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology, people who struggle with saying no experience higher levels of stress, anxiety, and burnout. And yet, so many of us continue to put other people's comfort above our own well being. In Quiet as Kept, I talk about how learning to say no freed me from a cycle of overcommitment and exhaustion, and especially with my mama, because that was the one person that I could not say no to, her and my grandmother. After my grandmother passed, and it was my mama, I could never tell her no about anything. And when I finally decided to say no, it was not easy. I had to challenge my own conditioning, the voice in my head that told me that saying no, that meant I wasn't being a good daughter or a good person. But the truth is, no is a complete sentence. You do not need to over explain. You do not need to apologize or soften it with an excuse. So let's talk about how to say no with confidence and without guilt. First of all, you have to recognize that your time and energy are valuable. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your needs, you're saying no to yourself. Practice saying no in low stakes situations. For example, if a coworker asks you to do something extra, politely decline. Reframe your thinking. Saying no isn't rejection, it's redirection. You're not saying no to the person, you're saying yes to yourself. Understand that people will adjust. So if you tell someone no who you normally say yes to every time, and that first time you say no, maybe they're going to throw a hissy fit. I guarantee you. They're going to be mad. They're going to be in their feelings. But the ones who truly respect you will understand and honor your boundaries. And if someone does react badly to you saying no, guess what? That's a them issue, not a you issue. That's their problem that they have to deal with. You did your part by being honest with yourself and saying no. So I got your journaling prompts. The first one is, what's one thing I've said yes to recently that I wish I would have declined? One thing that you said yes to that you recently wish that you had said no to, basically. And then what emotions come up when you say no? Think about it. This isn't just a journal prompt you just answer. Think about your responses and then answer them. What emotions come up when you say no? How do you feel? Do you feel guilty? Does your stomach start hurting? Does your neck tense up? Your shoulders tense up? Do you feel sad? And then think about where those feelings originate. What's causing you to have those emotions? Well, they've been so nice to me, and they always help me out. And they have permission to say no too when they don't want to do something. How can I reframe my mindset so that saying no feels empowering instead of guilt-inducing? That's a question you have to answer for yourself. I can't answer it, but I will tell you this. Saying no is one of the most powerful ways to protect your time, energy, and your mental health. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who needs a reminder. And don't forget to check out Quiet is Kept for more journaling exercises and self-reflection prompts. Visit ShawntiRefuge.com for more journaling resources, coaching, and guided tools to help you on your journey. And remember that your peace is always worth protecting. Until next time.